Hi guys, wanted to do a video on overthinking. It is by far the number one challenge issue that clients bring into sessions. Overthinking always comes up. What is overthinking? Analyzing or dwelling excessively on a thought, a situation, or a problem to the point where it becomes counterproductive. So instead of leading to useful solutions, it can create stress, confusion, or inaction, which is procrastination. Okay. Often involves replaying past events or worrying about potential outcomes or obsessing over details, obsessing over and worrying about forecasting the future. So things that haven't even happened yet. Okay. And nice saying here, overthinking, the art of creating problems that weren't even there. Signs of overthinking include constantly rehearsing conversations, events in your mind, and struggling to make decisions due to fear of making the wrong choice, overanalyzing every detail of a situation, feeling mentally drained from excessive worry, focusing on worst case scenarios or what ifs. While occasional reflection can be healthy, overthinking can really hinder productivity, and that can negatively impact relationships and mental well being generally. It's very closely linked to anxiety, and it is often both a symptom and a contributor to anxiety disorders. When someone overthinks, they tend to dwell on potential negative outcomes, uncertainties, or past mistakes, which can amplify feelings of worry and stress. So you can see it's a cycle, and that cycle creates a feedback loop, a negative feedback loop, where anxiety fuels overthinking and overthinking exacerbates anxiety. So it's a really tough cycle to be in, and it feels like there's no way out when we're in the depth of it. How are they linked? So, rumination often involves repetitive negative thought patterns about past events, fear of the unknown. So, anxiety thrives on uncertainty, and overthinking feeds then into this by trying to anticipate every possible outcome. Perfectionism, I've done a post in this previously. Perfectionist thinking and overthinking very closely linked. Perfectionism can stem from a desire to avoid mistakes, which is often linked to anxiety about failure or judgment. And then decision paralysis. So, excessive worry about making the wrong choice can lead to indecision, and then procrastination, and that further increases stress and the cycle continues. And the impact of overthinking on anxiety, emotional exhaustion, which constant mental activity. It can drain emotional and physical energy, and it makes anxiety even harder to manage then. So, one thing being, people think anxiety is psychological, it's very much physiological as well in the body, has a big impact on stress levels and stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And these keep the body very tense to the point we don't even notice when we've been in that cycle for so long. Sleep problems, so overthinking often occurs at night. So when we're lying in bed, trying to get to sleep, trying to force ourselves to sleep, we're overthinking. We don't even know what we're thinking about. We're just thinking. Our mind's very busy, and this leads to worst case scenario being insomnia or disrupted sleep, and that causes physical symptoms like racing heart, tight muscles, and obviously increases stress levels and physical fatigue and mental fatigue. Heightened stress response, overthinking triggers the body's fight, flight, freeze system, causing physical symptoms like racing heart, tight muscles, upset stomach, uh, breathing issues, and so on. Nice saying here. An anxious mind cannot exist in a relaxed body. An anxious mind cannot exist in a relaxed body. Breaking the cycle. Psychotherapy, CBT, and hypnotherapy. CBT in particular helps identify and challenge unhelpful thoughts and thought patterns. This is on a conscious level. So what the conscious part of the mind is only 5%. What we're using to be aware of our thoughts right now is only 5% of our minds. The rest is 95%. That's the unconscious part. So CBT allows us to highlight, challenge, and reframe negative thought patterns and unhelpful thought patterns. And then we implement hypnotherapy to quiet the mind even further. And that allows us to access the unconscious mind, which helps us to positively impact thought patterns, belief systems, and that has an impact on how we think, how we feel, and how we behave and act. So it's a really powerful combination. Psychotherapy, CBT, and hypnotherapy. Extremely powerful combination. And again, hypnotherapy, we create new thought patterns on a deep unconscious level. And this positively impacts, as I said, thoughts, mood, emotions, and how you act and behave. Mindfulness practices, we would use this supplementary to psychotherapy, CBT, and hypnotherapy. So a real focus on the present moment to reduce rumination. We do that through techniques like mindfulness, journaling, breath work, and body scans. And physical activity, also important. Exercise can reduce both overthinking and anxiety by releasing neurotransmitters. These are chemicals that fire in the brain, neurotransmitters and neuromodulators, like endorphins, like dopamine, like serotonin, allow us to keep in a good mood, that they give us a drive to want more, to step into challenges, and so on. They focus as well. Setting boundaries for thought, allocating a specific worry time. This can prevent thoughts from consuming your day. So say 10 minutes in the evening, and you can increase that if needed. And to sit down, get everything out on the page. And this is a really deep effect on interrupting conscious thought, but also on an unconscious level, getting thoughts onto the page, worried thoughts, unhelpful thoughts, like dopamine, like serotonin, allow us to keep in a good mood, that they give us a drive to want more, to step into challenges, and so on. They focus as well. Setting boundaries for thought, allocating a specific worry time. This can prevent thoughts from consuming your day. So say 10 minutes in the evening, and you can increase that if needed. And to sit down, get everything out on the page. And this is a really deep effect on interrupting conscious thought, but also on an unconscious level, getting thoughts onto the page, worried thoughts, unhelpful thoughts that have been keeping you back, and so on. Very underrated and powerful technique, setting boundaries for thought, which is worry time. So having 10 minutes dedicated to worry time. And then setting time limits for decision making can also help manage overthinking. So if you've got something you need to make a decision on, we're as much as possible doing it now, where possible, doing it as quick as you can. Or if it's a bigger decision that takes a little bit more thought, but not over analyzing, we said, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes, 15 minutes. By the end of that 15 minutes, I'm making a decision. And so what we're doing is we're breaking that pattern by taking action. And if overthinking becomes overwhelming, obviously seeking help from a mental health professional, and a professional will provide effective tools and techniques to manage anxiety, regaining control, and restoring mental well-being. And from there, building mental strength, resilience, and having the necessary tools, techniques, and ability to manage thought patterns And that has a big impact positively on overthinking and anxiety generally. Thanks.